We shall overcome. Are you really this dumb? Yeah. Hey, hey, what I told you. Did I not say that this truth will not be televised? Did I not tell you that this truth would not be televised? Did I not tell you tomorrow will not know that if they hate you, just know that they hated me first? Huh? Huh? This ain't the first time they stopped my broadcast right in the middle of me giving you guys this well-seasoned lamb, the official lamb, not the Jesus, the lamb of Sunini Nanini, the lamb of the holies, the lamb that's being eaten right now on every feast day in the heavens, just like we eating it here on this earth. Are you dumb or are you dumb? But they can't stop it. I told you guys they can't stop this. I told you guys they can't stop this. They can try. Look how long it took for my so-called broadcast to reboot. Mind you, I got top internet speed. I don't even operate on Wi-Fi. This is off the landline, and I still got cut off. And you still thinking I'm bringing forth my own doctrine? You still think I'm bringing forth my own teachings? Or is it because they looked? Is it because they looked at the work and they realized that we uncovered our heavenly parents' name right in the word? Huh? But they won't stop. This is just the beginning. The rise of the Bantus is here. Let me hear you guys say it. The rise of the Bantu is here. They won't stop it. They can't stop it. They can't even understand it. But we shall rise and we shall stand together, unified in one unit as we prepare ourselves for the true Exodus, the only Exodus that's only for the Bantus and for those that's claiming their Bantu-ness, claiming their heritage, claiming and calling on Sunini Nanini. Anybody call on anything outside of that, you will remain right here where you stand so you can die with your gods that you call on. Without a shot of a doubt, everything is going on. Not a single soul has made its way out of Babylon. You guys don't even know what's going on. You guys, let me tell you how foolish and how brainwashed William S. Crowley has gotten my people. They told you, they got you believing. Look, judgment, guys, judgment. Israel is being cleaned up. It's being cleaned up for who? For who? You really believe that we're going to go back into a place we never dwelt before? Silly rabbits. Religion are for kids. You really believe that we're going to go back to a place we ain't never seen before? Not a single Bantu, nobody in your bloodline ever set foot in 1948. And the brothers that believe this William S. Crowley and decided to take the nonsense to South Beach or whatever that's over there in 1948, they're wishing to come back to America. They're wishing to get help from brothers and sisters. Let me show you how wicked these people are. You can't even send money over there. Treated like sugar honey iced tea by the same people that's professing to be the children of Akubi. Huh? And I know I said, and I know I said I was gonna share something with you because I was rudely cut off, but I got time to spare. I'm gonna share something with you. Oh no. Oh no, it wasn't your internet connection, sis. It was my internet connection. The truth was shaking up the world wide web of Lucifer. It was shaking up the www.l.com, the world wide web of Lucifer. It was shaking. This is not the first time. These people knew that the spirit of Sunini Nanini was about to come out of me, and they had to put water to the fire. But we're going to build it right back up. And I'm about to show you guys something right now. As a special treat for all those that's been tuning in, I'm going to show you something right now. Something special. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys something special. Are you ready? Let me show this. Let me show you guys this. Let me share my screen with you guys. See, you gotta use these heathens' technology for your advantage. You have to use their technology for your advantage. I'm gonna show you right now. I'm gonna show you right now. Let me share my screen with you guys. Let me share my screen. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. So this is Claude.ai. This is like Chat GPT, but a little bit more, I guess. They allow you to ask more questions and get a real serious answer. Like Chat GPT, you got to be mindful. Anything you put, oh, I don't want to offend nobody. These people right here, they don't give a damn. Right? So this is the question that I asked. I said, did Jesus really have apostles with him while he was alive? It says, yes, according to the Bible, Jesus had 12 apostles who traveled with him during his ministry. Meanwhile, pay attention to what's being said. It says, travel with him during his ministry. Now, these are the 12: Simon Peter, Andrew, James, John, Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthews, James, another James, Titus, Simeon, and Judas. Okay? We're gonna read. This is just a special treat for you guys, because I love you. Because I am Mr. Keep my foot on you heathens, Hebrews, and heathenites next. Let's continue. It said, these 12 men were Jesus' closest disciples. He appointed them to be his official representatives and gave them authority to teach, preach, and heal in his name. They accompanied him during his ministry and were witness to his teachings, miracles, death, and resurrection. You see this? Miracles, death, and resurrection. After Judas betrayed Jesus and committed suicide, he was replaced with Matthias. The remaining 11 apostles, along with others like Paul, helped spread Jesus' message after his ascension into heaven and played a key role in early Christian church. Right. So while there is some debate over the exact details, most biblical scholars agree that Jesus did have a core group of 12 disciples known as the 12 apostles who traveled with him during his time on earth according to the Godspell account. They were instrumental in helping establish the foundation of Christianity. I want you guys to pay attention to all of this. Pay attention to all of this. Well, let's go. This is what I asked then. So why the writing of Jesus is in third person and the writers like Mark and Luke wasn't and writers like Mark and Luke wasn't even there? Okay, listen. Look what it wrote back to me. It says there were a few reasons why the Gospels are written in third person, even though the writers like Mark and Luke were not eyewitness to Jesus' life. Right? Not eyewitness. Okay, let's go up. Let's go up. So these are the people that walked with him. But yet, but yet, Mark and Luke is the writers of the book, but they wasn't there. Hmm? Let's go. Let's continue. The gospel were likely based on oral traditions. Oral, that means out the mouth, pause, traditions and stories that had been passed down about Jesus, right? The authors compiled and recorded these accounts into a narrative format, writing in the third person lent an air of objectivity and historical accuracy. Using the third person reflects the fact that the authors were not part of Jesus' inner circle of disciples. They likely wanted to differentiate themselves from the eyewitness. You see this? Okay. Writing biographically and third person was commonly used in ancient histories. The gospel writers were following literally conventions of their times. Okay? These are all the excuses. Okay? Pay attention. The authors wanted to keep the focus on Jesus and his word, deed rather than injecting themselves into the narrative. Using the third person allowed them to fade into the background. Hmm. Hmm. Fade into the background. Fade into the background. Remember King James got all the best writers? They was writing and they was fading into the background. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. The gospel were meant to be authoritative accounts of Jesus' life that apply to all Christians. Listen carefully. It didn't say the Bantus. It didn't say the Bantus. It said all Christians using the specific eyewitness viewpoints of I/we could have undermined this universal quality. So, in summary, even though Mark and Luke were not eyewitness, they used third person narrative because it suited, listen, it suited their biographical and historical aims, following literally customs and allowed the gospel to resonate more broadly as a authoritative account about the life and mission of Jesus Christ. Their sources were likely interviews with the apostles and early disciples who did directly witness events. You see this? Now you see they put interviews. You didn't see no interviews being mentioned here. You didn't see no interviews being mentioned here. Okay. It says, so I wrote, so who was the eyewitness to his work? What about Matthews? Look, listen carefully. It says, according to early Christian traditions, the apostle Matthews was the attribute author of the Gospel of Matthews, and he was one of Jesus' 12 original disciples. Matthews would have been an eyewitness to Jesus' ministry. Here are some key points about Matthews and his eyewitness status. Matthew was of the 12 apostles called by Jesus. He was originally known as Levi and worked as a tax collector before decided to follow Jesus. You see, every time they change the name, it's about control. Pay attention. How you went from a Bantu to a Hebrew or a Greek or a Latino. Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue. As in the apostles, Matthews would have accompanied Jesus for most of his 3 years public ministry in Galilee and Judea. He would have heard Jesus' teachings firsthand and seen his miracles. The Gospel of Matthews contains accounts unique only to Matthews, suggesting that he drew from his own memories and experience with Jesus. For example, Matthews is the only gospel that mentions Jesus paying the temple tax and the death of Judas, right? Early church fathers like Papias, Origen, and Ebuscus all testified that the apostle Matthew wrote the Gospel of Matthew. However, some modern scholars believe it was written later by someone else using Matthew's name/authority. In fact, written by Matthew himself, the gospel would offer a unique eyewitness perspective of a disciple who knew Jesus closely. So, in summary, the tradition view is the Apostle Matthew did alter the text bearing his name, therefore could provide firsthand testimony about Jesus' ministry and teaching during his life on earth as the 12 disciples. Modern scholars debate the actual authorship. So this is what I wrote. So, of the writers of the New Testament, who was there to eyewitness his work? Jesus, that is. Okay? So it says, here are the traditional accepted authors of the New Testament books who are considered to have been considered, not facts, considered. Let's look up the definition for considered. Let's look up the definition. Okay? Think carefully about something, typically before making a decision. Each application is considered on its mark. Okay? To think about it. Okay? Giving thought, to reflect on, examine, appraise, review, study, mule over, ponder, deliberate over. Okay? Let's click more. Okay? Colgate about, chew over, meditate on. So this is not facts. This is consideration. Possibly. I'm thinking about it. Let me see. Let me meditate on it. Pay attention. Use these people tools for your benefit while you still got access to it. Okay? Who are considered to have been eyewitness to his ministry, right? Matthews, he was one of the 12 apostles and present during Jesus' public ministry. His gospel provided eyewitness account. John, also one of the 12 apostles, he also with Peter and James were a part of Jesus' inner circle. The gospel of John and First John provide eyewitness testimony. Peter, Jesus' close companion, leader of the apostles after Christ's ascension, he preached and wrote the letters 1 and 2 of Peter. James, the brother of Jesus, who, see, you ain't even know Jesus had brothers, right? Who intentionally doubted his claims but later believed after seeing the resurrected Christ. He wrote the New Testament letter in James. Jude, also a brother of Jesus, who came to accept him as the Messiah. He wrote the book of Jude. Additionally, the disciples John Mark is considered to have gotten his information about Jesus directly from the apostle Peter from his gospel account. The apostle Paul, while not present for Jesus' ministry, claimed to have seen the resurrected Jesus on the road to Damascus. In summary, the first-hand eyewitness to Jesus' ministry and resurrection responsible for authoring parts of the New Testament include his 12 apostles, his brother James, Jude, and Paul. Their accounts provide the earliest and most direct testimony we have about Jesus' life, death, and resurrection. I said, I need a PDF summary. It says, unfortunately, I don't have access to download the PDF summary. However, I can provide you a brief summary overview of eyewitness to Jesus' ministry and works aimed among the writers of the New Testament. Okay, the gospel, Matthew, John were two of the 12 disciples who traveled with Jesus during 3 years. We read this. Mark traveled with Paul and Barnabas and believed to have obtained his gospel information directly from Peter, writing down his eyewitness testimony. Luke was a physician and a historian who thoroughly investigated the events eyewitness to write his detailed account. Okay? Pay attention. Pay attention. The New Testament letter. Peter was one of Jesus' closest three apostles who wrote first. We read this already. We read this. Right? Says so in summary, the eyewitness behind the New Testament includes Jesus' disciples Matthew, John, and Peter, his brothers James and Jude, and Paul, who witnessed the resurrection of Christ. Their first-hand accounts provide the foundation for our understanding of Jesus' life is significant. Let me know if you need any clarifications or additional questions. I'll be happy to explain further. All right. I don't want to know about a resurrection. I want to know if these men was actually there with him, or was it written after Jesus died, and was information which led to the writers like Luke and Matthews and Mark to be written from a third perspective. Look what it writes. It says, you raise a fair question. Let me clarify the events on whether the authors was actually with Jesus during his ministry versus writing after his death based on secondhand testimony. Okay. Matthew and John were two of the 12 disciples, accompanied Jesus through his 3-year ministry as directed, followed Jesus. They provided eyewitness testimony of his teaching, miracle, crucifixion. We replaced crucifixion with murder and resurrection in their God spell. Mark was not one of the 12, but early church, listen, Mark was not one of the 12, but right? But early church tradition stated he wrote down the testimony of Peter, who was an eyewitness disciple of Jesus. So Mark's gospel is based on Peter's first-hand account. Luke admit in the open of his gospel that he was not an eyewitness, but carefully compiled his account based on interviewing eyewitness and disciples who were present. The New Testament letters from Peter, James, Jude, and Paul were all written after Jesus' death and ascension. So they look back on his life and ministry from a reflective standpoint rather than providing in the moment eyewitness details. So, in summary, Matthews and John provided direct eyewitness testimony of being with Jesus, while Mark and Luke contain secondhand testimony from eyewitness account they gathered. The New Testament letters look back based on the author's experience with Jesus versus documenting his life as it unfolded. Let me know if this helped. Explain the difference. Right? I said, explain the difference. The key difference between firsthand eyewitness testimony provided by the gospel author Matthews and John versus the secondhand testimony compiled by Mark and Luke. Okay? Now, see, they keep doing this. Jesus for 3 years. Personally heard Jesus' teachings and saw his miracles and ministry. Provided first-hand accounts of Jesus' murder. We don't do no crucifixion and resurrection, which they witnessed. Wrote their own experience and memories of being present with Jesus. Mark was not one of the 12 disciples or with Jesus during his ministry. According to the early church history, Mark recorded the eyewitness testimony from the testimony of the disciple Peter. So Mark's presence, Peter firsthand account of Jesus' life and death. Luke admits in Luke 1 and 4 that he did not personally witness Jesus' ministry. Interviewed direct disciples and eyewitness to compel his account. His gospel is based on secondhand testimony of those who were with Jesus. So in short, Matthews and John offer direct eyewitness perspective of being with Jesus, while Mark and Luke contain secondhand accounts derived from interviewing Christ's original disciples and followers. The distinction is important for ascending the nature of the testimony about Jesus provided each other, right? So I says, so Matthew was said to not be there and didn't write anything, actually, right? That's what I wrote. Listen, look what it replies. It says, you raise a good point. The traditional view that the Apostle Matthew wrote the gospel bearing his name has been challenged by some modern scholars. Here is a brief overview of the evidence. The Gospel of Matthew is anonymous. Ooh, hold on. The author does not identify himself. The title, according to Matthews, was added later. Papias, an early church bishop, is the first to claim Matthews wrote it. So who is Papias? An early church bishop. Early church bishop. Early church bishop. Now, ask yourself this question, Bantus. Show me where in the Old Testament that the word bishop was given to us by Sunini Nanini. Huh? Huh? It first acclaimed Matthew wrote it, right? But this is based on the tradition, listen, based on tradition rather than concrete evidence. Oh, hold on. Some key details differ from the first-hand eyewitness account in John's gospel, such as the timing and nature of events. The gospel reflects well-developed Christian suggesting it was written later by someone other than the one of the 12 apostles. The text relives heavily on the Gospel of Mark rather than the independent eyewitness material. Listen, I hope you guys are paying attention and grabbing onto this. I hope you are. Some scholars argue the author was listen. Let me show my face here, because listen, pay attention. See, I know how to do my studies. See, I do this for you because many of us should be led astray. We being led astray. I'm starting to believe that the things that they wrote was a high level of mockery. They was mocking us. You understand? You understand? Let's continue. I want to finish reading this. Okay? The gospel reflects well-developed Christian theology, suggesting it was written later by someone other than one of the 12 apostles. The text relies heavily on the gospel of Mark rather than the independent eyewitness material. Some scholars argue that the author was a later Jewish Christian familiar with the apostles Matthew's teachings and writing in his name. Look who's writing it. Huh? So, in summary, while church traditions attribute the gospel to be Apostle Matthew's, a eyewitness of Jesus' ministry, critical biblical analysts call this into question. The text may have been written later by an anonymous author relying on secondhand testimony. Who's this anonymous person? How is this person anonymous into a book that's in more people's households than crack? Huh? This book is in more people's household than fresh air. Huh? Rather than a first-hand account of Matthew himself, but scholarly debates continue on the true origin of the gospel. Look, so this is what I write. Can I get a full overview, please? It says, here is a more comprehensive overview of the evidence and scholarly perspective on the authors of the Gospel of Matthews, right? Traditional view, name or after Matthews, one of the 12. Uh, my, uh, look, they froze they froze my they froze my mouse. They froze my mouth, guys. Oh, okay. They froze my mouse. Oh, now it's working again, guys. Do you see the madness? Do you see the madness? You guys can't tell me what I'm doing. Hey, man, you should know the truth, and the truth's gonna set you free. Let's continue. Let's continue. Traditional view, named after Matthews, one of the 12 apostles of Jesus, indicated it was written by an eyewitness disciple. Early Christian leaders, Papias, Arrhenius, and Origen, all contribute to this gospel to Matthews. Unique stories like the paying of the temple taxes, firsthand knowledge, written for a listen carefully. Written for a Jewish audience, fitting Matthew's Jewish background. Oh, na, na. Oh, da, na. Okay? Listen. Critical scholarship challenges. The gospel is anonymous. The title, according to Matthews, added later. Matthews relied extensively on the Gospel of Mark rather than independent material. How did Matthews rely extensively on the Gospel of Mark, but yet Mark wasn't there as well? Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. Hold on. Hold on. This is why they created the new to keep you away from the old. This is why they gave you the cross of the Red Sea, because in the new they was gonna get. Listen, you crossed over the Red Sea in the old. You drunk or walked or talked in the New Testament with the same blood. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Hold on. Okay. The text reflects through knowledge of the Septuagint and word for word citations of it, implying a Jewish scholar, the mature Christian theologic structure and higher literature quality does not match a early apologetic origin. The author shows little firsthand familiarities with, listen, the author shows little firsthand familiarities with the Palestine geographics and customs. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Many unique teachings, passages, parallels, the Apostle Paul, theologic rather than reflecting eyewitness accounts. Sympathies. The Apostle Matthew was likely not the literal author, but his authority testimony served as the source. A unknown Jewish Christian like author likely authored it later using Mark plus the apostolic testimony as sources. The text may represent the teaching and the perspective of the Apostle Matthew, if not his writing. Exact date, locations, and details of authorship remain uncertain. So, in summary, while church traditions attributes it to the Apostle Matthew, an eyewitness to Jesus' mystery, most critical scholars believe that the gospel was written later by an unknown Christian or Jewish Christian author representing Matthew's views, but no scholarly consensus exists on this specifics. Huh? Look how these people just told on themselves. Big bro, when we got work to do. We got work to do. All of these things must be uncovered. All of these things must be taken out. So when I tell you guys, when you see certain things, for example, I'm going to show you. Let's go to the word. Let's go to the word. I'm going to show you. Let's go to the word. I want to show you guys something. I want to show you guys something. Hold on. Hold on. I want to show you guys something. Let's go to Matthew 5. Oh, look, it's in the bond too. Hold on. Let's go to Matthew 5. Let's go to Matthew 17. Let's start here. It says, think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy it, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass. We know all of this. We know all of this, right? But I want you guys to pay attention to this. It says, I come not to destroy the law or whatever the prophets were saying. He didn't come to destroy. He came to fulfill. Right? Okay. So if you didn't come to destroy the law, there's no changing, because the word says, I change not. So you can't come to destroy, but to fulfill. You came to fulfill the precept that Moses said, that there's going to be somebody far greater than me that shall lead you. Right? 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 Okay. So cannot destroy the law. But he writes this right here. Let me see. It says, "You have heard that it was said by the time of old, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of judgment." Right? Right? That was the precept. That was the command. Remember, he said he came not to change or destroy, but to fulfill. Right? Okay. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother when uncalled shall be in danger of the judgment. Whosoever shall say to his brother Rakah shall be in danger of the council. Whosoever say thou fool shall be in danger of hellfire. Right? Therefore, right? Therefore, if thou bring a gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother have thou against thee, leave that gift in the altar and go thy way. First be consulted to thy brother and them and offer thy gift. Now, he said he didn't come to destroy the law, but he's given a new perspective on the law. He's changing the law. When you change something, you getting rid of the old, then that means you're destroying the law. But the word said, I change not. Let's go. I'm going to show you something. Huh? Where is that? Where is that? Right here. Right here. Change not, people. You have heard it was said before, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that if the resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him and turn to him the other also. Huh? So when you read the Leopold letter to the Congos, it explains. Matter of fact, let me see if I could pull that up. Let me see if I could pull that up. Hold on. Let me pull that up for you guys. Let me pull this letter up for you guys. Oh, is it right here? Okay. Let me pull you this. Okay. Your actions will be directed essentially to the younger ones, for they won't revolt when the recommendations of the priest is contradictory to their parents' teachings. The children have to learn to obey what the ministry recommends, who is the father of their souls. Listen to carefully. What the ministry recommends, who is the father of their souls. You see the monotheism that I'm talking to you guys about? Remember when I told you guys to do what? Remember when I told you guys to do what? That you got to pay attention, humble yourself. Let's create man in our image. Huh? Remember? Pay attention. Okay? You must singularly incite on the total submission, obedience, avoiding development, the spirit in the schools, teaching students to read and not to reason. There, the patriots are some of the principles that you may apply. You will find many other books which will be given to you at the end of this conference, evangelizing the niggers so that they stay forever in submission to white colonists, so they never revolt, right? So they never revolt against the restraints they are undergoing. Recite every day, happy are those who weep because the kingdom of God is at hand, right? That's what this is saying, right? Now, doesn't that sound like something that this like sound like something that they will tell you to do? Huh? Oh, um, brand new batteries too, guys. Huh? Huh? So when they do evil to you, right? Resist not the evil, but whosoever smite thee on the right cheek, turn over and give him the other. I mean, I can go on and on and on about this, but I'm just leaving this here for you guys so you can meditate, so hopefully you can find your way. I can't do this by myself. It's gonna take a collective, it's gonna take a team, it's gonna take a family, it's gonna take a nation to debunk this because these people have it right here for you. It's right here for you. All of this, I just gave you all of that. Read it for yourself. I saved it. So if you want me to screenshot it and you can get it and keep it in your archives for yourself. So when people try to question your stance with standing with Sunini Nanini, where you're gonna question the 12 apostles, even the 12 apostle story alone is suspect. You got the 12 tribes of Akobi, right? Or let's just use their term, 12 tribes of Israel, but here a person who's here professing to be like God, and he gave you the 12 tribes. He gave you the 12 disciples. Oh no, the 12 apostles. Which one is it? I'll leave it as that. I'll leave it as that. I'm not gonna proceed. This is just too much. This is part 2 of the December conversation. This is just too much. This is what I was gonna give you guys this, but the adversary did what he did, so it's cool. But there's your information. This is not me saying this. This is their recordings. I just asked the questions. Take advantage of this, or take advantage of these AIs. You'll be shocked to find out what they tell you. I went on the chat GPT and I said, what does Akobi means? It said, it means firstborn. I said, oh, that's all I need to hear. Wipe my hands and I keep it pushing. Any other questions? Nope. No questions? All right, cool. I'm about to get ready for my class. I got class at 6:30. I hope you guys tune in. I hope you guys gather this information. I hope you guys share this because this is very informative, very important. And like I said, you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. I'm going to set you guys free, whether you like it or not, whether these heathens, he-girls, and heathenites like it or not. This truth will be coming from this podcast as long as we stand, and they won't stop it. It's your brother, man. I am him, Mr. Keep My Foot on you heathens, you he-girls, and the newly installed heathenites next. Are you dumb or are you dumb? Father, say one time for the one time. And we gonna end this playing our music. Let's go.